Okay, so Dick, if you could just take a roll call for quorum.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll announce the meeting, I guess, for design review, Tuesday, October 12th, which is Fourth North Street in Hingham for raise two existing buildings and rebuild with a 2,400 plus or minus square foot building coffee shop. And I'll ask for a roll call. I guess you're there somewhere, right? Yep. Just, yeah, everybody unmuted. Sarah, I see you muted, I think. So just say that you're here. Chris?
I'm here.
Present. Yeah. Sarah?
Here.
There we go. And Martin and I'm here, and I guess it's just the three of us, so. As well as Kathleen Williams. And I'll let the petitioners and architect, engineers, whoever introduce themselves.
Thank you. I'm Aaron Cutler. I own Petra Realty, and we own the two sites that we are proposing to tear down the buildings and replace them with one 2,400 square foot building and drive-through coffee shop. I brought with me John Selly and Hal Chuba. John is the architect on the project, and Hal is the engineer. So I think I'm not sure exactly how you want to go through it, but John has all the plans. So if you want
why don't you just start with kind of a abbreviation as to the high points. Let's put it that way.
Does anyone want to share their screen?
Oh, do you have to read the? No. No. Okay.
Did anyone want to share their screen during their presentation?
Yeah, I'll share my screen here.
John, did you want me to start with the sites quick?
Yeah, why don't you give an overview of this site, Hal, and then we can
Then we go to the
come
building.
back, dive into the building when we get a little bit more detail.
Yeah. Well, just for the record, Hal Chuba, I'm a designing consulting engineer with offices in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, and I'm here with Aaron and John. John is the architect. Aaron is the developer. As Aaron indicated, he owns the two lots at the corner of Old Town House Road and Station Avenue. Currently, the two lots are fully developed. There's a gas station on one of the lots, and there's another commercial building on the other lots. The two lots combine approximately 17,000 square feet. Access to the site is via 4 existing curb cuts, 2 on Station Avenue and 2 on Old Town House Road.
How can I?
Yeah.
I think the one lot was 17. I think combined there.
Combined 27. 37. I mean.
Yeah.
One lot is 17. One lot is 20, and combined at 37,000 square feet.
Okay.
We propose to demolish the existing buildings on site, combine the two lots, revise the access to the site, eliminate 2 or 3 existing curb cuts, and improve the traffic circulation on site. We propose one building, approximately 2,400 square feet, to be used as a coffee shop with a drive-through. And I believe Aaron had contacted Kathleen before we started this project, and they had several informal meetings when we went through the site plans, and we tweaked it, and we did come up with the site layout that would conform with the current zoning bylaws. I will be in compliance with parking requirements, will be in compliance with access. We would be compliance in lighting, Signage, I'm not sure. I believe I will leave that up to John. John will probably talk about the signage. And we would be in compliance with landscape. I do have conceptual site layouts, civil plans. We have a site layout. We also have a preliminary grading and drainage plan. We would be collecting all the runoff from the site and to infiltration system on site that would be designed in compliance with Mass DEP and Town of Yarmouth stormwater management requirements. We would be providing a brand new septic on site for the proposed coffee shop that would be in compliance with Title V of Mass DEP. Landscape would be in compliance with the requirements of the zoning bylaws. I do have some other details on site for the site, and this is it for the site. At this time, we know we have to go through a site plan review. Once we go through your review first, and we'll be in going through this with this planning board. And I don't know. I think we might have to check with Kathleen. Kathleen, we might have to file with zoning at this time. I'm not really sure what the items that require zoning relief, but if we do have to go through zoning, we'll be filing with zoning. Other than that, I think that's the site. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions. And John, if you want to take the building portion of the presentation at this time. Thank you.
John?
Thanks, Hal. Were there any questions on site before we jump into the building design?
Yeah, I'd have a question. It looks to me like the buffer along Station Avenue, I think that's supposed to be 20 feet. Is there a 20-foot buffer there? Because
I believe
1 feet 2 inches, but that's to the pavement.
Right. If we add the buffer on the state road, the entire buffer, I think we do have. Yes, we will have 20 feet.
So you have 20
I see
feet up.
21.2 in my plans.
I know, but I think that's going to the pavement line and not the property line. Isn't the dash line the property line?
Let me just see whether, it looks like the arrow goes beyond that though, Dick. Hang on 1 second.
Oh, does it? Maybe. Your eyes are better than mine, I'm sure.
Get a magnifier to get it.
The buffer that they're showing, the 21.2, includes the green space in the town right of way. So the buffer on their property is approximately 15 feet.
So that is not what would be typically required, right?
This is a redevelopment project,
Right.
so they need to meet section 301 to the maximum extent practicable. And that's something where you will need relief from zoning for that.
Zoning,
It's
right.
typically done through a special permit. All that information will be identified during site plan review. This is just really looking at the architectural site and design standards. So there's more to come.
Okay, yeah, and that's fine. And I think, Kathy had brought this up before, that the 2 so-called parking lot trees are in the area of the septic system. So that something there might need to be moved, I would gather. I also had a question to her about the southwest buffer, but apparently those are 3-inch caliber cedar trees along there, and that's I'm with it. So those were their only questions on the site. Everybody will be looking forward to it, actually.
Thank you.
Go ahead with the building.
Great.
Well, actually, did anybody else have any questions on the site?
I don't.
Good.
Okay,
We'll have some overall questions that may include the site again, but go ahead with the building.
sure, no problem. So I'll bring up the floor plans to begin with here, just to give you a quick overview of the coffee shop layout. Again, as mentioned, it's around 2,400 square feet. Pretty simple layout on the floor plan. Main entry plan south here into a sort of retail front of house with a counter providing the service for the coffee shop. and then a back of house area with a couple of single toilet rooms. Pretty straightforward, an exit out of the back of house side, drive-through window along the drive-through lane. The roof plan, notable feature of the roof plan is that we're using a hipped roof around the perimeter, but a flat roof portion within that hipped roof to allow us to have a mechanical roof well, if you will, to screen the mechanical equipment at a lower roof elevation so you wouldn't see it from outside the building. A quick look at the elevations, and then we'll look at some 3D drawings that will give you a little bit better sense of the building. But again, it's a fairly small, fairly simple building, but we do use the materials recommended by the town design guidelines. High quality natural materials with the cedar shingles as the primary material, and then some accent materials like the vertical charred wood on the entry accent locations, and then some white trim accents, vinyl trim around the windows, the fenestrations, and to break up the height of the walls in some cases, and then some black metal work on the canopies and other accents, the light fixtures. Just to give you a general sense of the overall materials. Pitched roofs, we've tried to break up the mass of the building with, again, the entry accents, sort of changing the wall plane of the building, so that we don't have any really long runs of wall without some articulation to them. I'll go ahead and jump right to the 3D renderings of the project to really give you a good look at what it'll look like. Again, primary materials, cedar shingles, vertical wood siding at the entries. The white trim is a vinyl trim. Black anodized storefronts, black accent metals on the canopies and exterior railings. Small seating area outside of the coffee shop. Asphalt shingle roofing with some dormers on it to again break down the length of the building with some additional detail. That's another view. So this is now you come around the building into the entrance to the drive-through lane, looking back at the main entry of the building. And then we have a view from the far side of the drive-through, looking back at the drive-through lane. Again, the vertical wood siding on the accent at the bump out at the drive-through space, the black canopies. Give you a sense of that. I would like to talk you through signage. We will be seeking relief on signage. And Kathy, is that something we need to get into some detail on today's call to get a recommendation from this group, or will that be a follow-up conversation?
I think design review typically talks about the aesthetics of the signage, not whether you're meeting zoning or what relief you might need. So if you wanted to kind of show, yeah, I think you kind of have showing here generally what you're including for signage, which seems to blend with the rest of the building. Yeah,
I'll just speak to it briefly here just to give a sense of what we're looking for here in some areas that we might need relief based on this. So the zoning regulations limit the height of any sign, any attached wall sign. We would like to do a logo over the main entrance and a logo over the drive-through. And both of those we would like to be somewhat taller than the restricted. We're restricted to 2 feet in height. And you can use that 2 feet and do a pretty wide sign. But in this case, we want to do a logo that's 3 foot in the case of the drive-through and 4 foot in the case of the main entry, but not use the full width or the full area that we're allowed. So that's one of the areas of relief that we'll be seeking. Another area is along those same lines. I think we're restricted to just 2 signs, 2 attached wall signs on the building, and 2 logos on either side of the building, plus sort of illuminated word mark sign on this end of the building would make 3 signs. We would like to get all 3 signs if possible, but again, would need some relief there. And the third area that we would need some relief are on these little directional signs. We would like to have some signage that's visible when you're in your car driving around the site that directs you to where the drive-through is. So we're showing those slightly larger than's allowed by the zoning code. So that's another area that will be seeking relief. But we hope you would agree with us. We've made a strong attempt to make those blend in with the architecture. We don't feel like they're overwhelming to the building in any way.
Is this the proper time to make a comment about lighting, or are we still on the signs?
Anybody
The lighting of
questions about the
signs, I
signs?
guess. Are we just talking about the, well, let me just make this, because I was half listening when I read something through. I believe that the signs that you show on the building, like the coffee, the drive-through, the logo TBD, are going to be internal lit signs.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
Personal preference for me is I'd rather see some kind of a gooseneck downlight, or like maybe some uplighting from that canopy or awning. It just looks, I think, a little more traditional that way, instead of the kind of the neon glow that comes with these. So that's my comment on that.
Comments?
Oh, I was just gonna say I disagree. I like the internal lit, but so be it. I think there's
shocked,
enough
Sarah.
going on in the building. It's very simple and all that. To start adding all this goosenecky stuff to me is, maybe the uplighting's okay. I was just curious, since I'm not, and this has nothing to do with, well, maybe it does. I'm not a seasoned, inexperienced drive-through window person. I probably have done it twice in my life, believe it or not. Is a sign that high really visible well to us drivers who might be older than other places? I'm just wondering if anybody would even look up there to see a direction sign. That's just a comment from me.
I concur with that too, in terms of usually directional signs for drive-throughs are at ground level. You know, they be as you come into the driveway, you know, one of those islands pointing toward the drive-through. I don't think people are going to be noticing it up on the building and at that height. I would agree with Sarah on that.
I don't think you could either, if we're looking at this is the right elevation. This is inside. Yeah, you're not going to see that internally. It's not going to be seen from the street. So you're right.
Yeah, that's also on the side of the building, yeah.
But other than that, I like the way the lighting is placed and lit.
Right. As far as the building lighting, I didn't speak to that much. It may be apparent these sort of vertical fixtures here are exterior light fixtures. They're fairly subtle. They would give some glow to the wall on the side and a bit of light on the ground below. And then of course you'll have some spill from the interior lighting on the windows on the pavement. We don't have included in this, of course, the site lighting, which Hal could speak to a bit more, but we do have pole lights on the site to provide adequate lighting throughout the site.
Are we going to talk? Is it okay to talk about the building now, or are you?
Yeah, let's go. I think we're good on signs and lights anyway, so let's go to the building. I also have some more comments on the buffers when we get to it. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, I like the building very much. Although I like that you don't have concrete part way up or brick, which so many of the buildings tend to do. I'm also assuming, even though it's not, sizes aren't, at least that I noticed, maybe they are on the spec sheet, the sizes of the trim. I'm just assuming that from the 3D drawing that it's pretty true to what it is. But I think it's a great looking building. I have, yeah, I think it's great. Thank you.
Chris, do you have any comments on that?
Nope, I'm okay with the building.
Yeah, and I like the building as well. If I had any, and I'm not sure there's looking at the plan of the interior of the building, I'm not sure you can do it. I know the bathrooms are there and there's like in a utility room, but to the right of the front door, you know, the western side of the building, you know, we do have a pretty long expanse of just plain wall and shingles. I don't know if there's, even if it was a fake, something, maybe a window or two, and Sarah might say, no, we don't need. But it seems like there's a lot going on the side of the building and not much on the right side. I stand a little more balance personally, one sort or another, even if it's fake.
A trellis is an easy solution to that.
Yeah, yeah,
Just a wall decoration of some kind.
yeah.
Sarah, what are you gonna say? You don't like trellises either?
No, I like it just the way it is. No, I don't like trellises much, no. It's
What would you propose there?
just like it is. I think it
Just
looks
like it
great.
is, you like that.
I think
Okay.
it's great the way.
I mean, I'm fine with it. It's not,
Yeah,
it certainly doesn't bother me to any great
you
extent.
know,
It's just a
not
balance issue with me.
symmetrical building. It's, you know, the massing of it is quite interesting to me. I like the building a lot. That's me.
No, that's good. And I would agree with you. I think the building's nice, and I think the whole proposal is a nice attribute, certainly over the gas station that's in now and the other building. Okay, any other comments on the building?
I had some questions. If that would be okay. I'm just curious about how wide that sidewalk is and how the handicap accessibility will be done. Because I think you need more space there in order to turn someone around to get back in. Because I know it bumps out a little bit. So just something to think about, how would someone in a wheelchair actually get from the handicap spot to the front door and get in through the front door. It's hard to tell how wide it is on the plans, but just something to think about. Obviously, you're going to have to provide handicap accessibility. It's just sometimes the devil's in
Seemed
the
to me there should be a drop in the curb there, right? Is that what you mean too?
Yeah, they have it shown on the plan. It's just not shown here in the rendering. But when you go to the
Right.
other side to get in the door, I don't know how much sidewalk is left there for you.
Oh, it's gotta be at least 5 feet in front of the door, so we'll make sure, we'll have to go through you.
Yeah, that's the only thing. And I know that you're also
Right.
proposing bollards there that aren't shown in the rendering. Just be mindful of what you're choosing as your material. It looks like it's just PVC pipe. So just, I'm sure the architect can come up with something that might be a little less utilitarian that will keep the great look of the building that you guys have going on there.
A lot of our elderly drivers aren't always good at.
They'll drive through the window.
Stopping where they're supposed to stop.
Drive-throughs are really drive-ins for them sometimes.
And they are us. They are we.
Those are other people's there, not us. And the only thing about the lighting is I think you have 22 feet shown for your lighting. Maximum height is 20 feet that's allowed. So just keep that in mind in your photometrics. I think you've done a great job of adding the buffers in around this property that doesn't necessarily have a great amount of buffers now. But there are some requirements in the zoning bylaw with regard to hiding the parking with trees of 3-inch caliper every 20 feet. Just make sure that you're meeting that, because when you go to the zoning board of appeals, they're going to want to show that you're asking for as little relief as you need. I think you've done a great job here getting as close to possible, especially for a redevelopment project. So I think they'll really appreciate that. But if there's a few tweaks that you can make in order to fully meet the bylaw, I think they'll really appreciate that.
Mhm.
I'll talk about these things in site plan review, but I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Exactly, thank you.
I had a couple other things, maybe going more back to the buffers and so forth.
Mhm.
It's no big deal, but I noticed some discrepancies. Sure who that was, but some discrepancies, just if you start to count the number of shrubs shown and so forth, it doesn't always show the right number on the plan. So I'm not sure if the plan takes precedence over the code that says how many of whatever is there. There was a few discrepancies on that.
We'll check that, yeah.
Yeah, also on the drive-through side, it shows, I think it was Boxwoods or whatever. Same thing. It shows them
Sure.
coming up to the drive-through window and beyond the drive-through window. Pictures only show them beyond the drive-through window. So I take it the plan would probably take preference over the
Andrea?
over the elevations or diagrams.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, for any of the plantings, the planting plan would certainly take precedence over the rendering.
Okay. And did you give information to Kathleen's in terms of the 2 in-lot trees in that island, which I know also has light posts? Maybe more toward the center of the parking area where it's not over the septic, or moving the septic maybe.
It's not the septic, it's the underground infiltration for the stormwater.
That's right.
Is there any reason it can't be moved southeast? I mean, if you look at the utility plan, I don't know whether there's soil conditions or.
We need to have 50 feet separation minimum between the septic and infiltration. So we thought if we place it at the other end of the, because we still have to get actual perk on that corner just to make sure the soil is suitable. So, but we'll take a look at it if we need to.
Yeah, I think what Kathy's saying one way or another is we don't suddenly have it put in and then being said, well, you can't plant trees there because it's over the whatchamacallit.
Right. Yeah, we'll take a look. I think what happens, the plans got revised a few times over the, so this is one of the things that we have to check through and make sure before when we go through the site plan review. So we'll check that. Yeah, we'll move it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Otherwise, it seems like the buffers are pretty well done and trees are good on all the sides. I'm a little concerned about not, a brand new building again, not meeting the requirement for buffer strip along Station Ave, but as has been said, it's a redevelopment and therefore it's a hell of a lot better than what's there now. And I think it's probably a good negotiation there.
Mhm.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Yeah, since Charlie's not here, I can see where he always asks about the dumpster, right? Do you want to describe what the enclosure is like, please?
Yes, the enclosure would be screened and we would have a fence around it. I would assume, let me check the details. It's a white PVC at this time, but
Oh, okay,
we can
that's
do,
fine. I didn't see the label.
There was a
Thanks.
page of details in there.
right.
I missed it. Okay, thanks.
Site details number 1.
Okay, thank you.
Just remember, there was one other thing on that. On your bigger trees that go around the site. I think there were honey locusts and
Oh,
red
yeah.
only. And I'm not necessarily a fan of honey locusts. They bloom late and shed early, and they're just not the prettiest of trees. I like red maples, but I don't like them in overabundance. So if some kind of mixture of almost all red.
The bylaw requires native plantings, so might want to keep that in mind as well.
I don't know if honey locust is considered a native tree or not, but
Don't think it is.
yeah, they're pretty thin and they don't do well in hurricanes and stuff like that either. So
If we actually don't have any objection to any, Kathy, I mean, we can talk about this later too. If there's any existing trees or a canopy on the streets that you would like to continue, like some kind of, we can do that. I couldn't tell. Maybe I can take a look at some aerial mapping, see what's on, or maybe take a ride there, see what's on Station Avenue and try, if we don't have any preference. I mean, we can do anything.
You can save a trip. There's basically nothing there.
Right.
In front on this one, but maybe up at the CVS or something.
Yeah, they may have.
I think there is two little trees in the old townhouse road sign, which it's showing are staying there. They're actually on the town land anyways.
Yeah, they were planted as part of a previous relief given.
Right.
For
So
the corner property.
those should stay too.
Yeah.
But I think along Station and Old Townhouse, otherwise I don't believe in front of the physical therapy there. I can't remember.
Across the street in front of the other donut. Hey, I'm just curious, what do you have in mind, like a not Dunkin' Donuts, but another type of shop like that? Or, I'm just curious. You don't have to answer.
Probably better than that, right?
You can just say, who's gonna be the tenant, right? Starbucks
we
doesn't have
haven't
a coffee shop across the street, so.
we haven't nailed anything down yet, but it's one of the major national tenants.
Okay, curious. Yeah, thank you. Another drive-up window I won't frequent, but
By the way, if there, I think Hal said it, but if you have a preference on any of the trees, we're taking requests. So
There's a list of trees that the conservation has that I can forward to you.
Sure.
that'd be great.
It's gonna be irrigated, right? Gonna have sprinklers?
I
Irrigation,
believe so.
because it needs to. If it's not, all that'll die.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we?
This is one of the few summers we've had some rain.
I know, right? So we ran into a concern with another project. Are we? Can we irrigate with town water there?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
I don't
there's
know of any
restrictions that come up that might say it's going to be either other day or something like that.
Okay.
But Yarmouth's been pretty good with that.
Okay.
Do you happen to have the existing satellite view handy? You could.
I can just Google it real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere, but I'm not seeing it now in this.
Does that help?
It's in your packet, Dick.
All right, I found one. Okay, yeah, I was just trying to remember if there are any trees in front of the physical therapy, but from this aerial, it looks like there ain't.
No, there's one in the back, I think.
There's some
Yeah,
on
there's one.
the existing line, but I realize those are a good spot. Yep. As long as the planting's done, plan and with some of our suggestions and suggestions, I think that'll be good.
Mhm.
Anybody else have anything else?
project.
Hmm?
My-
I'm sorry, what did you say, Sarah?
Good project.
Yeah, I think we're all very pleased with the project. It gets rid of two highly non-conforming
Mhm.
buildings and
Ugly.
gets a pretty, a very attractive building in their place with lots of buffering, and I think it's a great project. You must have seen the long lines at Dunkin' Donuts across the street.
Did you want me to put something in here about the support of the design review committee for the project, or?
Sure.
Okay, so we need to go through the siting strategies and then the
Yep.
building strategies. There are going to be a few things that you might have a discrepancy on. Don't worry about it. This is an advisory situation. I think you guys have done a great job trying to be as much as possible, but sometimes just a drive-through is a drive-through and there's only so much you can do. So the first item is street space, which is about bringing the building closer to the street and having a street face oriented entrance. And because of the orientation of the drive-through, the building does not front along the street with a street-oriented entrance. So technically, it is a discrepancy. I don't know how the board feels, the rest of the committee feels about that.
You were cutting in and out a little bit on that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that because of the orientation of the drive-through, the building does not front along a street with a street-oriented entrance because the drive-through is along the main road.
Yeah.
So it is a discrepancy, but
Yeah, it is, and I thought about that too, whether there's any better way to position the building to get a more attractive side facing the main road, and
they did a good job of it embellishing on that side from the last
Right.
time. They added some
That's right.
windows and some other things, so it's a little bit of a harder nut to crack. With regard to tenant space,
that side, yeah.
yeah. And I think you're going to have a lot of landscaping there. I think just the
Mhm.
materials nice. I like the whole look of the building.
Yeah, and again, those boxwood should continue to the left of the window there.
Oh, is there space for that? You wanted the foundation, like the,
Yes, they could
On that
certainly.
area, like in back of that car, the plane shows those same bushes that are to the right of the window, continuing all the way down that.
That would be on the, is that on the landscape plan?
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah.
landscape plan.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yep.
And I would still like to see that.
are you saying that it's shown on the landscape plan, just not on the rendering?
That's correct.
So the tenant space is not applicable, small enough. Defining the street edge, I think it meets the standard, even though the street edge has been defined by the landscape buffer, which is about 15 feet along Station Avenue and 20 along Old Townhouse, which will significantly green up the property with buffer plantings, supplemented by a reduction of the number of curb cuts. I thought there was 5 down to 2.
Yeah, 5, yeah.
Kathy?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to, you're gonna have to speak with your facing the way you are now, because when you turn around, we can't.
It shouldn't matter because I got the earbuds in, but
Well, that's for your hearing, but it's not for the microphone.
well, the mic's right here.
It's not
The
working.
street, I just indicated the street edge has been defined by the landscape buffer of 15 feet along Station Ave and 20 feet along Old Townhouse Road, which will significantly green up property with buffer plantings, supplemented by a reduction of the number of curb cuts from 5 down to 2. So I was saying it meets it and then just kind of explaining why all the good things that they did to help to meet it. Does that make sense?
That's good.
Mhm. Yeah, good.
I've been waiting years to see that curb cut go.
I know that corner curve got, yeah. Shielding large buildings, it's really not applicable. Designing a second story, not applicable. Using topo to screen the new development is really not applicable. Landscape buffer screening. I think I indicated that I think it might meet the standards. The landscape buffers and screens have been significantly improved for these properties. And then I just note that the applicant should meet the buffer planting requirements of section 301 to the maximum extent practicable. Because the ZBA is going to require that. I think you didn't have quite enough in some locations of the trees, the 3-inch caliper trees, to screen the parking. And then you do have a residential zone to the south, which needs a fuller screening. So just kind of highlighting that. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah.
Parking lot visibility, it meets the standards. Parking is located to the side and rear of the building. There's an exception of one space is somewhat into the 20-foot buffer and screened with a vegetated buffer. This proposal results in a significantly fewer front yard parking spaces. So meets the standard.
Yeah.
Could you not hear me?
No,
Do now.
you gotta turn that way, Kathy. I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. That's
Whatever you're
weird.
looking at, if you just bring it around.
You're better viewed from the front anyways. Right?
Ouch.
That's a good thing. I'm not saying your profile's not good. I'm just saying it's
No, I'm just kidding.
you like your smile.
Thank you. What were we on? Oh, okay. Parking is located to the side / rear of the building, with the exception of one space and screened with a vegetated buffer. This proposal results in a significantly fewer front yard parking spaces. So meets the standard.
Yeah, that's good.
Breaking up large parking lots meets the standard. In-lot trees in a planting island are shown in the parking area. And I just say, please note that the trees are shown planted over the stormwater infiltration structure. So you're going to need to address that. Sound good? Locating
I'm
utilities.
sorry. When we say address it, we mean that we want to keep those there and shift the system.
Move it, yeah,
Yes.
move the system.
Right, not eliminate the trees,
Right,
just to be clear.
right.
I'll include that. Yeah, the island's in the right place, so we want to keep that. Underground utilities meets the standards. All the utilities, it looks like they're shown underground. And then I did just note here that the maximum height for site lighting is 20 feet. Shield loading areas. I think it meets the standards. They have a little area that's shown as a loading area just to the northeast of the dumpsters. The loading area is screened with vegetation, and I think it will probably only be used periodically. It's not like a large loading and unloading facility. So if that's all set, we can move on to building strategies.
Okay.
Breaking down the building mass and breaking it down into submasses. I didn't think either one of those were applicable because of the size of the building, which is like 2,400 square feet.
Okay.
Varying the facade lines. This is a case where it is a discrepancy. Typically, we like to see a 5-foot modulation every 50 feet. And on this side of the building, which is 80 feet long, does not have a minimum 5-foot modulation to break up the facade line. However, the small bump out for the entrance with the varied wall height and materials and the large windows helps to break up the building facade.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with you, Kathy.
So varying the wall heights and the roof lines, I think that all meets the standards. I'm just waiting to hear from the design review committee.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Bringing down the building edges, I think that meets the standards. The building, I just indicate that the proposed building is only a single story, and the metal canopy and the changes in the building materials helps to bring down the building edges. With regard to the building materials, variation to add depth, and also the use of traditional natural building materials, I think they meet those standards.
Me too.
Incorporating pedestrian scale features, I think they have that incorporated.
Yes.
And then incorporating energy efficient design, they're going to have to, so they're going to have to meet the standards on that. So that's everything. So if I can just give a brief summary of the review, just so others know. I read through the notes that I've taken through the meeting so that this committee can vote on these as meeting minutes, as well as providing them to you as a comment sheet so that you'll have all this information when you move on to site. So Helene gave an overview of the project encompassing 2 lots at the corner of Station Avenue and Old Townhouse Road, totaling 37,000 square feet. The project will demolish existing buildings, replace with one 2,400 square foot coffee shop with drive-through, and reduce the number of curb cuts and add landscape buffers. Drainage from the site will go to an on-site infiltration system, and a new on-site septic system will be installed. John gave a brief overview of the architecture of the building, noting the floor plan and layout. There's a hipped roof around the perimeter with a flat roof well to screen the mechanical equipment. I did not notice that, and I very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. The materials used are high quality natural material, primarily shingle with vertical charred wood at the entry and the drive-through, and white vinyl trim around the windows, and black metal work on the canopies, exterior railings, and light fixtures. Included some articulation on the longer runs. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Is it Selly, thank you. Reviewed the renderings, including the outdoor seating area. He gave a brief overview of the signage proposed, including attached signs, which will need some relief. The signs were designed to blend in with the architecture. The building mounted lighting is proposed around the building, and there'll be pole mounted lighting around the site. Is also proposed. And then I just briefly talked about the design review committee questions and discussions. Dick Martin asked about the buffer along Station Avenue. The buffer on the plan is approximately 15 feet on the property. Dick noted that the 2 in-lot trees are within the stormwater infiltration. Mr. Martin noted that the buffer should be irrigated. Chris Vincent noted that the attached signs are internally lit signs. He indicated he would rather see gooseneck downlighting or uplighting from the canopy, and Sarah Porter noted that she did like the internal lighting. Ms. Porter noted that the drive-through sign might be too high and not where people would naturally look. Dick Martin noted that the directional signs for drive-throughs are typically located at ground level. Chris Vincent noted it would not be seen from the street. So I think that's given you some good input on that particular sign. Sarah Porter noted that she liked the look of the building and inquired about the size of the trim. Dick Martin also liked the building as well. There was a discussion about the expansive unadorned wall to the right of the front door, but ultimately felt it should be left as is. Kathy Williams noted the need to ensure handicap access with the side door, providing something nice for the bollards and a maximum light fixture height of 20 feet. Dick Martin noted that the number of plantings shown on the plan need to meet the plant schedule. The trees are listed as honey locust, and Mr. Martin asked for a different type of tree. Kathy Williams will provide a list of native species. Sarah Porter asked about the dumpster and what the enclosure is like. Halim noted it would be screened with solid white PVC fence. And I just indicated the design review committee was in support of the project. I don't know if you want to emphasize that more or not. But that's what I had.
Any comments on any of that?
Pardon?
Oh, you aren't done probably, are you still working? Still on?
I'm done.
You're done. Okay, any comments on?
I just know, I'm looking at the cover sheet and I'm sure there are legs under that table in real life. All the tables outside. In real life.
They float in the air.
Magical tables.
Special floating tables.
So,
Cool, really cool.
Oops.
So I'm looking for a motion to approve these design review comments as meeting minutes for the October 12th, 2021 design review committee for the proposed coffee shop at 439 Station Avenue.
Do I have a motion?
I second it.
Who made it?
No, actually, I just, do we have a motion? Chris, did you make a motion?
Oh, I do. Oh, cool.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Sarah made the motion. I'll second that.
And Chris seconds it. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye. Yeah.
Can we just can we roll call that,
Roll
please?
call.
Sorry.
Oh, that's right. Chris,
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
and I'm an aye.
Last thing is
Mike Martin.
motion to adjourn the October 12th, 2021 design review committee meeting.
I make that motion.
I
All
will
right.
second that.
Motion's made to adjourn and seconded. And I take it there's no discussion. Anyways, good luck with your
Yeah, thank you. Good luck.
Nice job.
Great.
Thank you.
and thank you.
Hey, Dick.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all.
Nice project.
Thank you.
Good
Dick,
luck.
don't leave. I got to bring you something. Don't
Okay.
leave.
I'll
Okay.
be
good.
right here. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.